So Krishna is telling, Karmanya karma yah pashyeda karmani cha karmayah sabuddhiman manushyeshu sayukta kritsna karma krit. One who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is intelligent among men. And he is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities. So here Krishna is explaining the symptom of a learned man, a devotee who knows how to act. A devotee, he sees inaction in action. People in this material world, they're fully busy in material activities meant for increasing their sense pleasures, and activities meant for decreasing material pains. They're called material activities. So people are mostly busy in these activities, how to increase material enjoyment and how to decrease bodily pain such as diseases. So they don't know the aim of life is to get liberated from this material world and go back to the Supreme Lord. They don't know this goal of life. So they think that to live here happily in this material world by increasing bodily pleasures is the goal of life. So they are actually, even though very busy to so to say, spiritually they are inactive. Therefore, a intelligent man, a devotee, sees inaction in action because they're inactive spiritually. They're not doing any spiritual activity, any activity meant to please God. They're inactive. Even though materially they're very, very active to please their own personal sense pleasures, to increase their sense pleasures and decrease their pain, they're very, very active. Even though they're active, actually in true sense they are inactive. So a devotee sees that the ignorant mass of people are inactive even though they are materially active. And then action in inaction. A devotee, even though he may be sitting in one place and meditating on God, or he may be chanting the holy names of God, for a materialistic person, it appears that devotees are wasting their time simply chanting names of God and doing nothing. So, in terms of a materialist, a devotee may be inactive by not running around here and there to work hard and increase their bodily pleasures and decrease their bodily pains. But actually a devotee is awake spiritually, therefore he is active. That is true action. Actions meant for pleasing God is true action. So even though externally he may be not active the way materialist is, but he has already awakened his Krishna consciousness, he has already connected with the Supreme Lord in love and devotion. So he is very active. And a devotee, sabuddhiman manushyeshu sayukta kritsna karma krit. It's not that a devotee just sits in one corner and just keeps meditating. He performs all activities which are meant for pleasing the Supreme Lord. Just like Arjuna, after he heard Bhagavad Gita and after he understood that he is part of Krishna and his business is just to please Krishna, he fought very vigorously and shot arrows and killed all the enemies. So he performed actions as a Kshatriya. So in the same way, a devotee does all activities. A devotee goes to the market, purchases fruits, vegetables, grains. A devotee oversees constructions of the temple. A devotee goes around and teaches people the science of Bhagavad Gita. A devotee cooks for the Lord. He decorates the Lord. He worships the Lord. He organizes festivals for the Lord. He also collects donations. He does business to increase the wealth of the temple. So in that way, devotee can involve in all sorts of activities which are meant for pleasing the Supreme Lord. So even though a devotee engages in all sorts of activities, he does not enjoy or suffer the resultant reactions because these actions are all meant for pleasing the Supreme Lord. He is not entangled by the resultant reactions. He only enjoys transcendental pleasure. He is very happy to do any sorts of activity for pleasing the Supreme Lord under the direction of a pure devotee, a spiritual master.